So Alex from Beyond the Void Horror Podcast wrote me up and was like, "Hey, you want to try to get into Fantasia Fest?" And I was like, "Abso-friggin-lutely." So I emailed them and they sent me back something saying that I needed to talk about 5 films I was most anticipating from this fest. And so I went on the website and I looked through it. They had a listing of horror movies, thriller movies, sci-fi movies, and then a whole bunch of other genres, but those are the ones that obviously apply to this channel the most. There was a lot of films. And I started going through them and I was like, okay, this is beyond overwhelming. This is impossible to pick only 5. So I limited it to just horror and I went there. That was still very, very complicated. I eliminated the movie Together with Dave Franco and Allison Brie because I think, everybody knows about that movie. Everybody's talking about that movie. That movie comes out in like a week. So that isn't really one that needs to be discussed or put on here. And then I put the ones that really just stuck out the absolute most to me. So first here we have the film Good Boy. This is the one that I'm probably most anticipating because this is one I have been following and have heard about for a little while now. And the reason that this one is exciting and important to me, and Kaylee, is that this is about a dog in a horror movie told completely from the dog's perspective. If that doesn't get you at least interested, then I don't know what will. This took 400 days to shoot over 3 years because the lead actor is a dog, and I'm sure that was extremely complicated. Ben Leonberg is directing this. This is a directorial debut. He put 3 years and took on a very complicated project for his first feature film. So I think that shows a lot of excitement towards filmmaking and, just the process. And this one has me very excited. So Good Boy, 3 friggin' years. That's crazy. Next up, this is one that I think I knew about, but I kind of forgot about. So when I saw it was on the list, I was really, really excited. There was a film from 2022 called Influencer, and that was a film that we really enjoyed a lot. And it left off in a place where I was like, okay, that could be a pretty definitive ending, or it could have more. And, now we know it has more. This movie is called Influencers with an S, plural. And Curtis David Harder, he returns as the writer-director, and we have the character from the original film, Cassandra Nod, or CW as she is in the film, returning. And we also have Georgina Campbell joining here from the movie Barbarian. And this is a sequel to Influencer. So if you saw Influencer and you were into that one and you wanted to see more, then there is a sequel. As I said, I did hear about it at one point, but I kind of forgot, and it was very exciting to get a reminder that not only is this a thing and that it's coming out, but that it's going to be at Fantasia Fest, and hopefully I'll get picked to be one of the people who gets to see it and talk about it with you guys before it comes out. Now, every one of these movies, I'm pretty sure that I'm about to talk about did not have a poster or anything. So these are like really new. Outside of Together, which I mentioned at the top, but that's because that comes out very soon. But it is premiering at Fantasia Fest. So yeah, Influencers, very, very exciting. Can't wait. And moving on next, had to put this on the list. Friends of the channel, I'll call them. The Addams family, we got to interview John Adams. We got a lot of communication with Toby Poser, his wife, and co-creator of their movies. They have a new film coming out called Mother of Flies. Zelda Adams also returns for this one. They are the filmmakers behind The Deeper You Dig, Hellbender, Where the Devil Roams, my personal favorite of theirs. And last year, I think it was, I think it was last year's Hellhole, which was the Shudder original. That honestly was my least favorite of theirs. I still enjoyed it, but I'm really hoping that they can recapture the magic of previous films, because I just really enjoy them as filmmakers. So I had to put them on here. I Did not know they were making another film. So this was exciting to find out about it. And once again, hopefully I get to see it here. But I just think they're very cool people in general, having gotten to talk to John and Toby through, online communication. They're just genuine people and really cool, unique, interesting filmmakers that work on every aspect of the film. They write them, they direct them, they star in them, they do the music, they edit, they do the whole thing. This is a whole family operation. And as film lovers, especially a guy who is a family man who has kids and a wife and everything, thinking about making stuff like this for a living with my family is probably the greatest thing I could ever imagine. So seeing them do it and seeing them do it well and having, that just gets me excited. So them making this new movie, Mother of Flies, this is about a young girl who gets cancer and she turns to necromancy to heal herself. And she, I mean, that's about all you need to know. Other than who made it. And if you know their previous work, that should get you excited alone. So very, very excited for the new Addams Family film. Not that Addams Family, obviously. All right. Next up, we have a movie from the director of Best Wishes to All, which we reviewed earlier this year, just a couple months ago. And it's definitely one of the films that has stuck out from this year the most. I've watched almost 100 2025 horror films, and that's top 5 most unique films for sure, maybe even top 3. So that one really, really stuck out, was unique, and made me go, okay, I've got to see what this person does next. And lucky me, I find out that they have something already. Now, Best Wishes to All, I think, is an older film that just finally got released to Shudder. I think it was made quite a while ago. So it does make sense that they already have another film. This movie's called New Group. And the imagery in it is pretty cool. It has a, like manga kind of feel to it. Almost like something like Junji Ito's Uzumaki, which is what I was kind of getting from some of the imagery. Essentially, there's this school where a person just kind of randomly, quietly plants themselves on all four in the middle of I think it's like the field, like at school, and slowly but surely people start to join them and create a human pyramid. And this girl's trying to fight against having to join that human structure. Sounds awesome to me. This is totally my kind of shit. It's going to be, if it's anything like Best Wishes to All, this is going to be a very bizarre, unique, wild ride. This is the type of film that is not going to make any logical sense. I'm sure it's going to have lots of social commentaries or metaphors to it. It's going to be very bizarre, very odd, and totally up my alley. So had to put this one on here just because of the experience we had with Best Wishes to All. Once again, making 5 films off of these lists, just sticking to horror alone, was very, very complicated. But ultimately, I do feel like these are the 5 that stuck out to me the most, mostly just because of the directors and things that they're connected to. That's kind of what I went off of for picking stuff. It was just like, okay, I know previous work, and therefore I can get excited other than Good Boy, which is something I know nothing about the director, but making a movie from the perspective of a dog and it being a horror film is just going to be kind of my immediate excitement. All right, lastly here we have a movie called Redux. This is from the filmmakers behind The Block Island Sound, a film from years ago that I really enjoyed the hell out of. It actually had one of the funniest moments in a movie, some dialogue between characters over a seatbelt that had me laughing for quite a while. This is just a film. When I looked into the premise and who was making it, it was like an instant, like, okay, I gotta put this on here. Essentially, it is a woman whose daughter is murdered, and so she goes through the multiverse. I don't know if she creates a machine or finds a machine or whatever, but she has a machine that can take her through the multiverse to alternate realities where she hunts down her daughter's killer and kills him over and over and over again. I am a huge revenge thriller horror type of person. I get a lot of catharsis out of that kind of stuff. And with these filmmakers attached, that's just kind of a no-brainer for me. I was very excited when I saw who made it and the premise, and I was like, absolutely. So, gotta throw that on here. It also has Jim Cummings in it, who's an actor that I really, really like. He also is a filmmaker who I really, really respect and appreciate, but he's just acting in this one. So seeing his name attached to it as well levels up my excitement. But yeah, I mean, this was 5 films. I looked at this list and kind of went through things for a couple hours. I could have put more time into it, I guess, but I was really trying to focus heavily on the horror stuff. I did dip my toes over into the thriller section and into the sci-fi section. I saw a couple titles in there that I was really interested in. I don't think there was a single film I came across when I looked through probably 50 plus films, watched trailers, read synopses, all that kind of stuff. I don't think there was a single movie that I was uninterested in. There was a couple that I was like, okay, that looks okay. That looks fine. I'd watch it, but I'm not super excited about it. Maybe it'll surprise me. But for the most part, every single one of them were like, I want to see that. That actually looks pretty cool. That looks unique. That looks awesome. That looks rad. That looks funny. That looks insane. That looks wild. So there was so many to choose from. And I just kind of had to set some kind of like line where I was like, okay, we have to stick to these kinds of like credentials to do this. Otherwise I'm just going to lose my mind and I'm going to sit here and I'm never going to make this list. So there was this punk rock body horror film that looked super awesome. There was Korean films, Indonesian films. There was a Screen Life film. You guys know how much I love laptop horror, Screen Life stuff. That looked super cool. There was an animation film that maybe looked kind of like Rotoscope that had some crazy, insane sexuality, X-rated type stuff, like heavy metal, but even harder. And it was about like werewolf trials, but it was like crazy, crazy sexual. I saw some stuff in there that was wild, as well as that punk rock body horror film I was talking about earlier, both super sexually charged. There was horror comedy. There was horror comedies. There was a time loop movie. There was a location loop movie. That was one that was right there. It was right on the cusp, as well as that punk rock movie, because I just love punk rock and horror together, and I want to see both of these. But the location loop movie, it ends. That looked so cool, and I was like, oh, but it didn't have a trailer. It was just reading about it and everything. It was exciting. There was a killer doll movie. There was a guy with his head stuck in a toilet for friggin', it looks like the whole film. That looked wild. There's a movie straight up called Fuck Toys that looked fun as hell. So picking these 5 was insanely complicated, and I wanted to watch every goddamn thing. So hopefully I'll get a chance to put my money where my mouth is on that one, and actually sit down and get screeners to most of those and get to bring them to you guys. So fingers crossed that Kaylee and I will be bringing you all of these reviews, but let's not get greedy. Let's just hope we can get a couple of them. These 5 alone would be awesome. I would be bummed if we didn't get to see any more, but I'd be so happy to get those 5 that I would count myself lucky. So there you go. Good Boy, Influencers, Mother of Flies, New Group, and Redux. It was tough to pick, but I had to go with those. And Fantasia Fest starts here in 2 days. So look it up, go to the website, check out all the films, check out what they're to look forward to in the coming times. Sometimes these movies don't come out for a while. I remember when Alex reviewed some of the stuff. I didn't see him for like a year sometimes. And then other ones are like, they're coming out in a week, so you never know. So go check them out. I'll link the website down below so you can just click on that and look through it. But man, just be warned, it's overwhelming. There's a whole lot of stuff. What a cool festival. I wish I could go in person, but that's just not gonna happen. So for now, I'll just count my lucky stars that we get the, you know, internet access screeners, if we get any. So, anyways, all right, guys. I'll see you in the comments. Adios.